This is Riri Mokru, and you're watching Wrestling with Mental Health.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is not a day of mourning. Today is a day of celebration! I'd like to welcome you to Planet Fitness here in Whitby, Ontario. Oh, sorry, Planet Athletes. Gotta make sure we get the right name. I'll get sued by the lawyers. As we proudly present to you on our after 15 years here of the best wrestling in Ontario, we present the Last Bash! I have been part of this show for many, many years, and I see lots of familiar faces, people who've been here each and every show, and I'd like to give yourselves a big round of applause. Let's hear from you guys. But one person, we couldn't have done this without. And this man here, he poured his blood, sweat, and tears into PWE because he believes in it, and he believes in giving the best wrestling around to the best fans around. I'd like you to please welcome, at this time, my friend, the one, the only, Dr. Matt! Getting close to that time of the year. I look around the ring and see a lot of people I've known for a long time. A lot of people who are good friends of mine. Some people, 25 years I've known them, flying over here. Some people 10, 15 years. Okay? Again, I appreciate everyone coming out today to spend this last day with me. This is the last show, no matter what anyone tells you. I may get Canada Day again, and I may get Convergence again, but they'll be one-offs, all right? I'm glad that everyone's had a good time. All the well wishes I got for my birthday. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Let's address that. My birthday was Wednesday. Today is Sunday. I've had hundreds and hundreds of happy birthdays. At one time, I used to make a donation for every happy birthday I got until it got too expensive. All right? So thank you for that. I thank you for all the years of supporting me before PWE and after. I hope that everyone has a good holiday season. It's coming up. And I hope that Santa Claus is good to you and however way that he does. All right?
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all set. You're good to go.
Welcome, Dr. Mask, the promoter of Pro Wrestling Eclipse.
Thank you, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So what was the original spark that made you want to start Pro Wrestling Eclipse back in 2010?
I was doing other shows with other people, and I just a wrestler, a TNA wrestler, told me, "You don't need the other guys, Sean. Just do it yourself." That's the basic.
When you launched PWE, what gap in the Ontario wrestling scene did you feel you were filling?
Um, I always say that wrestling's about the fans, and I just wanted to put wrestling shows on, entertain the fans. I wanted a family show. That's that's what we got. We stuck with it.
Yep. How did the name Pro Wrestling Eclipse come about, and what did you want it to represent?
So I used to hang out with a couple of guys, and we would bounce ideas around, and they wanted a name, and then somehow I said Eclipse, and my friend Cannibal was his name. Real name's Harold, but he said that stuck. And then instead of it being Pro Wrestling Eclipse, he named it Wrestlin Eclipse, and he would always say "we" for WE, like we.
Yeah.
And then we just went back to Pro Wrestling Eclipse.
What were the biggest challenges you faced in establishing a wrestling promotion from the ground up in Ontario?
Well, people have to recognize that you can do it. Maybe they're skeptical at first. They don't know who you are. I was always like second fiddle to another promoter in their company. But I was also the money in that company, so I don't know why people wouldn't trust me.
Yeah.
And it's also how you get along with the wrestlers if the wrestlers like you and stuff.
What were the early venues like? How did you go for finding a home in Oshawa?
So with another company, I'd run a venue in Vaughan, the Vaughan Sportsplex, indoor soccer field, and then that promotion fell through, and I took over that location. What I didn't like is I was driving from Whitby to Vaughan to promote, put up posters and do stuff, and the promoter, my co-promoter, wasn't doing anything. When I was up putting up posters, he drove by me in his car, but he was too busy to help me. He didn't know that I knew that I seen him, so I decided to come home to Oshawa. The Legion prior management wasn't big on wrestling because of a situation that happened to the company before.
Oh.
And then they weren't big on us going there. And I think I might have run one show or something, then the president didn't want us there. Then a new president took over, and I went in there one day and he saw me. He said, "I've been trying to get a hold of you, but I have no way to get a hold of you because I didn't have my contacts." And so then he was a big supporter. Us. He knew paid my rent, and I brought the crowd, so he wanted us there. They're under new leadership again now.
How difficult was it to recruit talent during the first few years, and who were some of your first wrestlers who really believed in your vision?
Well, a lot of the wrestlers, when they're coming up, they're just there for the money. All right? No matter what they tell you, they're just there for the money. Michael Elgin is a bad word in wrestling. He has always been my friend. So it was him and I. Him and I did dozens and dozens of shows together. With either I was selling merch and he was performing, or we worked together. But situation happened where his name got bloodied.
Yep.
And he's never recovered.
I know.
And he's you have to understand in wrestling there's a lot of jealousy.
Yep.
Okay. Instead of helping to build you up, they shoot you down. Like if I ran a competing podcast, that would impact our friendship. You know what I mean? But that's basically right.
I get you. PWE became known for being a platform for rising Canadian talent.
Yeah.
What are some wrestlers you're proud to have featured early in their careers?
Oh, jeez. A lot of wrestlers were already on their way before I ever got them. Derek's a great wrestler.
Yeah, Derek's amazing.
He's the best unsigned wrestler. Some of them are just a weekend job, so they don't really take it so serious. I really can't think of anyone who's made it bigger.
Derek.
Yeah. He's wrestled all over the States and stuff.
Oh, I know. I'm waiting for him to go to Japan.
Oh, never know.
What qualities did you look for when deciding who fit the PWE brand?
a lot of times people show up and they have a dream to be a wrestler, but they don't have the build. They're small, and some wrestlers walk in. I want to wrestle, and you show them like I don't see nothing there. Other wrestlers, they're bigger than me and they're built. You go, well, you look like a wrestler. That's one thing I've learned, that they have to look like wrestlers. They might be great in performing and stuff. I mean, Rey Mysterio was smaller than normal, but he was a one-off. Right?
Yeah. Were there any wrestlers who surprised you, either exceeding expectations or evolving into something completely different than you thought?
Not really, no. As a promoter, you would get approached a lot of times, and a lot of times when I was going out to more shows, I would see people and I'd talk to them, come work for me. There's no one really that exceeded. Rob Rage is someone who approached me to do shows, and I told him what I wanted, and he did everything I wanted. I wanted a big bully, and that's the role he played. On other promotions, he was
Rob Rage was a heat magnet. He did great.
Yeah. There was one family that got mad at me because he came out and said, "All you Oshawa people are fat and lazy," and they were all overweight. They took it personal. Instead of using that for motivation to get in shape, they said, "You keep him on the show, he's not coming back." So I lost 10 people a show, which is a make or break sometimes.
Yeah. Over the years, PWE brought in some major names. What was the process like behind the scenes?
Usually someone knows someone. When I was with Elgin had access to a lot of people. Sometimes there were people that be traveling with him, and I would get superstars for dirt cheap. They would stay at Elgin's house and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I was talking earlier about bringing Rhino in. You pay him a deposit and give him a date, and he shows up. Right. How it is.
Which legend or special guest appearance meant the most to you personally?
Oh. So we brought Demolition a couple years ago. Bill Eadie, who plays Axe.
Yep.
Before he did that, he was a super machine. And before he did that, he was a masked superstar. And the masked superstar was a favorite of mine. And if you look at my logo and his mask, there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
All right. When the machines came out, he was wearing the super machine mask, and I recognized his voice. I knew who it was. He would play a character where he would be the bad guy, but he was a real technical wrestler, but he was the bad guy. And then something would happen where the other bad guys didn't like him. They got jealous of him. They attacked him. So I like that. And then to bring him as Axe to my show was great. For me, one of my sponsors, it was great. And watching him do stuff, and all they were was like enforcers outside. But I've told Bill he's my favorite wrestler like 6 times, and he could care less. Like, whatever. And when that day we had them, there was 2 fans that dressed as Axe and Smash, and Smash said to me, "Smash looks more like me than I do." Right?
Was there anyone you always wanted to bring in but could never quite make happen?
What's his name? He's got dark hair, white makeup. I just saw his picture last night. I think he's in the E.
Oh, I don't know.
Starts with a D. It'll come to us. Someone will yell it out.
What about Leatherface?
Leatherface. No. I'd met Rick Martel a couple of times, and I had contacted him 3, 4, 5 times to try and bring him on a show. I never make it work. Right? Tatanka had an angle with him years ago, and Tatanka said, "Book him, and we'll run that angle at your show." And Rick Martel had stole Tatanka's headdress, and then he had a picture of him wearing the beret and just had a feather. You post that picture, and we'll run with it, Sean. And I could never make Rick Martel make it work.
Right.
Because they don't want to come for a day. They want to have, do a toy show, do your show, do something. I can never make it work. But and when I met him, if he met you at the show, what do you do? I help film. Oh, that's great. He built it up.
Nice.
He built you up, I should say.
Can you share a behind the curtain moment involving a big name talent that fans would never guess happened?
Some promotions can afford to bring someone in blind. I'd have to advertise that they were coming. I'd have to advertise Demolition or Rhino or Shark Boy or whoever. So I never had a behind the scenes thing like that.
Okay. What's the Masterpiece story?
All right, so Chris Masters is not his real name, right? He was brought to Ontario to do 3 shows one weekend. The first show was up in Lindsay for my friend Nick. So when you're selling merch at a wrestling show, before the show and intermissions when you sell. Usually you don't sell during the shows. So they got to the venue way late. The show had already started and they showed up. When Chris got to the back, all the other wrestlers said, "Who are you here with?" And they told him, he goes, get away from him now. And he said, "No, I'll stay." So they had no merch sales. So you pay a bunch of money when you bring a name in. You got to pay a hotel and you got to pay the flight and the parents' fees. A lot of money. So then the next night was out by Hamilton. Can't remember the name. Is it maybe Cambridge? And after hearing not be there the whole Friday and Saturday by other wrestlers, Chris Masters wouldn't go on until he got paid. So the promoter approached me. He was going to pay me. I was going to borrow money out of me, and he would pay me back later. It was my birthday. I was going to go hang out with Tatanka and Raven and all these wrestlers that I kind of know, and other people. And then after the show, that promoter didn't pay me. Ooh. So I said, "Tomorrow, Sean." And I said, "No." Then the next day, we're in the Tri-Cities. It's about to go on. Masters and Elgin, they're at the curtain. And someone come out and told Masters there's no money. So Masters walked out. He wasn't going to go. But he was classy. He went and sat at the ring. There was a couple of young kids, and he sat next to them. He said, "Okay, if I sit with you guys?" "Okay, we'll sit in a big mass like this." And he watched the match, and he told the young kids what was going on in the match, what the story was going on. So then he needed a ride home from the Tri-Cities to the airport. The promoter told me there's a hotel room for him. I said, "I will take him there." "Are you sure this is a hotel room for him?" So we show up at the hotel. But is there room for Chris Masters? No. Under his name? No. Is there a name for the promoter? No. If Chris Masters could have got a hold of the guy, he would have ripped him in half, like a phone book. But he wasn't mad at me. He goes, "How do you know him?" I have to go home this way anyway, so I dropped you off the airport. That's the short version of the Chris Masters story. All right.
All right.
That's not a news story. People would know that on the indie board.
Yeah. How did you approach long-term storytelling in PWE, especially in indie environment where schedules and rosters can change suddenly?
Yeah. So again, for a lot of them, it's just a weekend job. Some of it's a full-time job. Some of it's just a weekend job. So you don't want anyone getting hurt and then can't go to work on Monday.
That's true.
So if you're promoting and you're hot, the wrestlers will come to you. They just want to be on the show. They want to be there. They hear you got a draw. Hear you pay. It's usually pretty. That's basically all it comes to it.
Which PWE storyline or championship reign are you most proud of crafting?
When Phil Atlas was still a wrestler, he's not around anymore.
Yep.
We were doing something. We're in the back door of the Legion. We were arguing, and there was no sound. You see us arguing. And then I went to him, "Push me." He goes, "What? Push me." And he pushed me. And we just ran every week every month to be a storyline between him and I, a background story. And then he got in a match with Diener. Like he hit Diener in the groin, and the referee took out one referee, took out the other referee, and I came in the ring to check on Diener. And he hit me with the belt. Now I knew he was going to hit me, but I thought he was going to wrestle and hit me. He walloped me, hit me in the neck, and messed up my neck for the rest of my life. Was it fun? Yeah. I hit the ground. I ran into the ropes. Just so you know, the ropes hurt.
Yeah.
Don't think for a second that they're soft, especially the middle ropes. And a friend of mine I work with, he was there with his son, and the son's a tough guy in hockey. He almost ran in the ring to save me. So like after the show was over, he texted me, "Are you all right?" No. And he goes, "Was that part of the show?" And I said, "Yeah." But here's someone who's elder person to watch wrestling evolve, knows what it is, and he thought it was real. And that's the best part. You have people that know what wrestling is, and they can, and you fool them. There's a couple times that's happened, or I like it casting a fish and getting to hook them. And you can do that when people think it's real, really real.
I was going to mention Derek Strain.
Derek Strain, yeah, Derek was good. It was a long. I can't remember how many days. If Josh was here, he could tell you how many days and hours and minutes.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell you. It got to the situation where we had no one fresh for him to fight. So just change something up and try something else.
Were there any storylines or matches you ended up that ended up completely different from your original vision, either for better or worse?
So when I give my guideline for what I want on the show, this is what I want, and this is what I want you to do, because I have the next show planned. And then they didn't, and so I'm watching the show happen, and it's a different finish. So I'm like, that's not what I said. Now I have this wrestler coming in to fight you, but now it makes no sense. But and I won't say who that is. But
every promotion faces tough moments. What was the biggest challenge you encountered during PWE's run?
So every morning on the day of the show, that's when my day starts. The wrestling starts from who's not coming to who wants tickets to who's going to be late and whatever. Till I go to bed, it's wrestling all day long. So it could be like a 20-hour day. What's the question again?
Every promotion faces tough moments. What was the biggest challenge?
Before the show, it's always like a whirlwind. And people who aren't in wrestling will like send me questions. They want to come to the show, but they want to tell little jokes and stuff. And like before the show is not the time for this. Once you get to the show, that's fine. We can talk. Once the show starts, a lot of tension comes off. And it's like that every show. And a lot of it's because I do a lot of it myself.
Yeah.
You know.
How did the pandemic years impact PWE, and what did it take to rebound afterwards?
So when they started opening things up again, they had certain rules for sporting events. So I wrote the Ministry of Labor or Ministry of Health or something. Doug Ford, maybe, I don't know. Or yeah, Doug Ford, right? And asked them, I put on an indie show, what criteria do I have to meet? And they said, because what wrestling is, it's not like full contact hockey or something, you're allowed to do it. So I had all the rules written out on Province of Ontario letterhead, and I started telling other promotions what they could do. But some promotions benefited from it. Some promotions still, because of the facility said no. Like one facility up in northeast of Ottawa, they said no. 50 people at ringside, 50 people in the stands. That's all they said. You really can't do much when you have a big show with 100 people.
Yeah.
Right?
What was something you learned the hard way as a promoter?
You become a wallet for a piggy bank, source of income for the wrestlers. And years ago, I watched the interview with Michael Lansbury interviewing The Rock.
Yep.
And just when The Rock took off, and he said to The Rock, "Didn't people get jealous in the faction you were in?" He said no, because it was better for me. It was better for them. A lot of wrestlers don't understand it. If they make it better for me, it's going to benefit them. If they tell people that they're going to be at my show, you might want something from that wrestler, and you're going to show up, or maybe that wrestler wasn't there. And a lot of them don't seem to understand that.
What's the most obscure piece of wrestling memorabilia or gear that ever came through the PWE locker room?
I used to have wrestling trunks that Abdullah the Butcher wore in Japan.
Whoa.
And he authorized them for me. I have At one time, I was planning on opening my own restaurant. It was going to be a wrestling themed restaurant, take off on the Hard Rock Cafe, and I had a bunch of wrestling gear. I had trunks, the Ricky the Dragon Moore. I had T-shirt that Manfire or Mankind wore. And it was all burnt on one side. I can't think what else. I had a ton of stuff.
Kane sign mask.
No, I have a Kane sign mask, but it wasn't one that he wore. I had some ring gear from beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Wow.
And I put it on. It was the itchiest crap. You wouldn't want to wear it. Like, why? It was LeMay or something like that. It was so itchy. It's all gone. I have very little left.
You've likely seen some hilarious pre-match rituals. What's one you'll never forget?
A lot of it's just warming up, flexing, whatever, push-ups, sit-ups, stretches. There isn't anything weird.
That's good. Which wrestler showed up the most outrageous gear or costume you've ever seen?
Who was a zombie princess? He was a male wrestler. He just wrestled. I can't remember his name right now. It'll come to you. I can't think of anybody. Sorry, buddy.
That's okay. What's the funniest moment that ever happened mid-match that the fans didn't realize was unplanned?
There was one match where Tarek was wrestling Jules, because Jules would wrestle man or male or female. And Tarek dropped the elbow on her ankle and dropped it. And she had to hobble out like as if she'd broke her ankle. My friend's niece, Victoria, she came up and said, Sean, just so you know, I'm first aid trained. And I had to go, Victoria, just so you know, you're at a wrestling show. Like, look at my demeanor. I wasn't freaking out because you had a broken ankle. Right?
Did you ever have a moment during a show where you said to yourself, this is why I do this? And what was it?
I can remember walking around the Oshawa Center when years ago, 2018, 20 years ago. And I would hear little kids calling me, Dr. Mask, Dr. Mask. And that was the thrill. All right. All those fans grew up and stopped buying wrestling masks. Something happened and people just showed their appreciation for me. It was really cool. And when I said in March, I said I'm gonna thin out now. I'm not gonna do as many shows. I had this Canada Day and conversions and this one. People who I didn't know were fans would come and talk to me and tell me what it meant to them. Oh, okay, thank you. You're welcome.
What's a moment that made you think, I can't believe this is happening, but here we are?
You never know what the crowd's gonna be like. All right, and sometimes they just keep coming, which is overwhelming, right? There's other shows in Oshawa, too many shows in Oshawa.
Yeah.
But using the same workers, which I don't understand. But I don't know. You just hope everyone comes out, and when you're so usually the doors open at 1, say, and you get a few people come in that want to sit in the front row or whatever, and then you think, oh, where's everybody else? Where's everybody else? And all of a sudden they start coming, you're like, whew. Because wrestling, you need the fans.
Yeah. What emotions are you feeling heading into the PWE final match?
There's a bit of relief. I don't know what to expect from the fans, from the wrestlers. It's been, I did Bill Chase's podcast, doing this podcast. Ben's doing a video of me. I think I'm pretty modest, and this is a little not overwhelming, but it's just awakening, right? I was skinny and shy, and as a kid had a bad stutter, and I outgrew all that, and the fans see me as me. One person used to write stories. He said I should have a suit on, and that's not me. I can wear a suit for a funeral or a wedding, but I'm not going to be out there, just be me, and that has worked for me.
What do you hope the wrestlers, the fans, and the industry remember most about PWE?
I just hope that they appreciate all the work that was into it, and think back in the future that hey, that was all right. I mean, I try to show great value.
Mhm.
I got to charge more money, all right, but I want everyone to come, right? Now and then someone will hit me up, Sean, we're down on luck. Can you give me and my son a ticket? Well, whatever. I'd rather have 2 more seats filled than another $30-40, right? $30-40 won't break me. Sometimes people pay me by e-transfer and say at Sikorsky there was slow internet. I said, don't worry, $15 won't break me. So,
After the final bash, what's next for you? Creatively, personally, or within the wrestling world?
so I use Dr. Mass. I throw axes on in Pickering, and I use Dr. Mass as my throwing name. So Dr. Mass won't die. When I worked at Darlington, there was a lot of people that had the Dr. Mass stickers on their helmets, and I'm proud of that. My stickers were second to Hydro stickers. I have a 2-year-old granddaughter. That's a big part of our life.
That's good.
I'm retired. I get up every day and do whatever I want. If I want to come do this, if I want to go out for dinner, if I want to. Since I retired, I've seen comedy shows and concerts where normally I have to be up at 5 in the morning. No, I'll sleep in an hour.
That's good.
I can basically just do whatever I want now. And a friend of mine has a show in Scarborough, no, downtown Toronto. Is it Kingdom James? I haven't seen him in a long time. Yeah. He's got his show going again. I might go. It's a small venue. He's not a bad guy.
Running a promotion is incredibly demanding. Did you ever experience periods of depression, anxiety, or burnout during your time leading PWE? If so, how did you recognize it, and how did you help manage it?
When everything is good, it's easy. You just go with the flow. The biggest hurdle always is if there's fans going to be there and wrestlers are going to show up. One wrestler called me 2 hours into the show, said he wasn't coming, but he didn't call me. He called one of the other wrestlers. The story that he gave to me on the phone didn't match the story that he told me the next day. That was bad.
Promoters often carry the weight of making sure the show goes on.
Yeah.
How did the pressure of being the person everyone relied on affect your mental health over the years?
So you're basically the captain of the team. The team's only as good as the captain. The captain's only as good as the team. So you have to reach out to people. I need you to do this and this. And some people can respond and can run with it, and some people can't. That's a big hurdle. You have to find people that see the same vision as you.
Was there ever a moment, a canceled show, a financial hit, a talent emergency that took a noticeable toll on your mental well-being, and how did you work through it?
There was one year when we were at the Polish Hall on Olive. There was a massive snowstorm, and I had wrestlers coming from all over Ontario and stuff. The highway was closed, and I had to shut it down. I had to tell the ring not to come. I had to post that it's not going to happen. Then I had to sit at the hall and watch as people came who didn't get the message and tell them sorry. It'll be next week. So a little bit of anxiety there. People gonna accept that. Sorry, that's just my phone.
That's okay. During tough times, who or what was your biggest mental health anchor? Whether it was family, friends, wrestlers, or something personal.
So, for the most part, my wife's at the front.
Yeah.
Selling the tickets. Not a lot of people know that's my wife. I don't. Some people will go tell her, say I got in the ring and I got hit or something. They will go tell her, Dr. Match just got hit in the ring, and she would ask me, "Did you just get hit?" Yeah, don't worry about it. But Not sure she was appreciated by the rest of us.
Really?
No, not a lot of them came and talked to her. Ricky Stardust came and talked to her, but I asked him to make her feel welcome.
Carol's one of the nicest ladies I've met.
There was someone that said a story that your wife insulted me, and I went, no, she didn't. And then one of my friends, I told him the story, and he went, no, she didn't. No, it's not in her. She likes seeing all the little kids, likes seeing all the faces. She doesn't remember everybody, but she knows the faces.
Promoters often hide their stress to protect the locker room and the product. Did you ever feel isolated in that role, and how did you deal with those feelings?
There was a time during the pandemic where we lost 4 wrestlers in like 24 hours. And I got to go on best I could. And then Jeremy came in and I went, here you go, buddy. Make it work. No.
Over the years, did you ever see wrestlers or staff battling their own mental health? And how did PWE try to support them when possible?
I can't say that it was ever brought to my attention. There was a match where a wrestler was supposed to pose as a referee and screw Rob Rage out of a match, out of the win. And they were supposed to do something, and that wrestler didn't react properly, and Rob could have hurt him. When that wrestler was brought to the back, another wrestler said, "He's out, Sean. He's out." He was out on his feet, and Rob Rage went back and he let go on him. He let everyone, saw it, but he came later and apologized to me. I said, "Rob, he was out of character for you."
Storytelling in wrestling requires emotional investment.
Yes.
Did your mental state ever affect your creativity, booking decisions, or motivation as a promoter?
You always want a good show. You always want to do something that no one else is doing. The wrestling I grew up on is different than the wrestling today. I don't recognize anybody in the ring, or hardly anybody in the ring. Or I've had the opportunity to spend time with wrestlers I saw on TV. Did it reflect? Not really. I always wanted the fans to enjoy them, get their money's worth. It's very important to me. Value for money. Have a good time, and then walk out and be talking to their friends of what a great time they had. That's the most important thing to me.
Yeah. Storytelling in wrestling requires emotional investment.
Yeah.
Did your mental state ever affect your... Oh, I already asked
You
this.
just did that one, buddy.
Sorry.
It's okay. You're just texting. I wasn't paying attention.
As PWE approaches its final show, has this transition brought up any emotional or mental challenges for you, and how you are navigating the sense of ending after dedicating so many years?
So there was a bit of relief. All right, it's been 15 years, doing what I want to do. I mean, I remember watching wrestling on TV as a kid, and then going to see it live at Maple Leaf Gardens, and then what a thrill it was to pick up wrestlers at the airport and you get them in the car for 40 minutes. We drive them to Oshawa. Natty Neidhart was just in town. I can remember when they had Natty Neidhart in town, and she was in the back. She was back in my van, and she couldn't get the door to close. So I went and hit the button to close the door, and I spilled coffee all over her. No one else can tell that story, and she was just cool. I threw her a towel and sorry, no, that was just before they got signed. Some wrestlers are Tatanka. I had him a few times. Spent some time with him. Good friend. I can talk to him online. I don't bug them. Had a interesting night out with him once. With me and Brent, we had a great time. The Honky Tonk Man. You have a show, then go out for beers afterwards, and just sit in the hotel room laughing at each other. I was driving him home once, and he phones Greg Valentine. He starts telling Greg Valentine, "Well, you know Sean." I said, "No, I've met Greg. I don't know him, but I've met him." And then one time I had a picture on Facebook of Greg Valentine, and on his page he goes, "When's this picture from?" I said, "That's from when you and I were in a town by Cornwall. Yeah, I remember that. It was a good day. I just sat there talking to Greg Valentine about wrestling. No fans were bugging him. Like they had an open yet. We just sat and talked like an hour about
That's
wrestling.
awesome.
He told me that the original Sheik burnt Toronto. You'd have like a 6-minute match,
Yep.
and that'd be it. And then so Flair started bringing more serious wrestlers, and Flair and Valentine would have like an hour-long match, and people got their money's worth, right?
That's. I've been coming to your shows
A
for
long time,
a
yeah,
good
appreciate it.
10 years.
Yeah.
Like before my diagnosis.
Yeah.
And even with my diagnosis, I used it to get over my hurdles.
And you never anything I asked of you, you did.
Yes.
You know, you were filming it, and I had a hard time getting a videographer that would come, record everything, edit it, and give it to me. I have all kinds of matches out there that are lost.
Yeah.
So you just do it, man. You just film it. Is it the best? We're right. We had 2-3 cameras, but we don't have that. But whatever, good enough.
I always thought I was bugging you.
No. Every show, can we get a picture? It's fine, sure. You know.
I appreciate those pictures.
You know, all these ideas come back to me. Shark Boy was a lot of fun. So I had to pick up Shark Boy at the airport. Well, he's a masked wrestler. I don't know what he looks like. They told me he looks like one of the bald ones. So I'm at the airport. Usually about 45 minutes after they land, they come out. And I'm going, he's not here. I can't find him. He's not here. He told me what shirt he'd be wearing. Then a guy comes out with acne. He tells me he's been wearing a mask. I went, you're Shark Boy. And he could do a lot of voices. He was really funny to be around.
That's cool.
He fancies his drink a little too much, but he was a lot of fun to be with. I mean, everything was going wrong. They lost his gear, his suitcase, so we had to go back to the airport to see if they could find it. And on the way to the airport, they had the exit closed. And I told him, sorry. He goes, but of course it is. You know, just humorous to be around. Robbie the Highlander's a great guy.
Yep.
Good sense of humor, good knowledge, and spend time with me at a show where there was something going on at a show in Hamilton. Matches just they had like incredible amount of matches, and he was ready to get his ring out of there. Then he looked at me and said, listen to the crowd, Sean. The wrestlers are doing all this crazy stuff, but the fans aren't reacting. The fans aren't making any noise. The fans aren't being entertained. So then I started noticing that show, when I was selling my merch, fans would come up, well, the matches are on. They're not being entertained. They're paying this money and they're not being entertained.
Yeah.
I always stress, interact with the fans. Do something. You'll see Diener will interact with him. Robbie the Highlander, I've seen him much of where he interact with Sexy Eddie, good friend of mine. Too bad I couldn't get him for this show. But you know, people that know how to interact with the fans always seem to do better.
Diener does great.
Diener does very good with that. Diener has a patience. I mean, there's a fan that comes up to me as I walk out doing my thing. He's on top of me. Dr. Matt, that's Matt. I'm like, just tone it down a bit. But Diener can make that work. He would just be patient with him and stuff. You know, Diener's very good judge of character.
Yeah.
When I first started working out, I had some wrestlers doing the back room, and they said, "Who do you want?" I said, "I want Diener on my card." And then they came back the next show and said, "We can't get him." So then I ran into him in Niagara Falls, and I said, "I'm trying to get you on my show." They said, "You're not available." He said, "Nobody approached me." And I got him on. He came in. Him and Tyson Dukes came in and did exactly what I want. They had a match. The place went nuts with what they were doing. No. He did exactly what I wanted, and I didn't tell him what to do. That was the best.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sean.
No problem.
This has been a pleasure.
Oh. I had other things to say, but I can't think of them right now.
I'm completely devastated that PWE is going.
You'll find somebody else.
Oh, I know.
It's when I talked to Tarek about it, he said, "You have other things to spend your money on this wrestling, Sean." That's how grounded he is. I've told people before that is this the last one? People say, there'll be more. I've openly said there might be conversions. There might be Canada Day, but they're like single shots, one-offs, right? One disappointment I had this year is I lost 14 wrestlers on conversions, and conversions was supposed to set up this show with the matches, and that didn't happen. So it's basically three one-offs this year.
Yeah.
But the show will go on. It'll be entertaining. You'll have a good time. I think there's 8 matches or something, so you get your money's worth, which is important to me. But families come, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, whatever people get the value.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what can you do for $20 a person? A movie's more than that, I think.
Yeah.
You know, for 2 hours. So.
Oh, thank you, sir.
No, thanks, but you. Thank you, everybody.
I got a few things that I want to say to you, Roddy, as well as everybody else sitting in the chairs right now. Before I say something to you, I do want to say something to you, Jeremy Prophet, and that is this. In professional wrestling, a hero is only as good as the villain that stands across the ring from him. And Jeremy Prophet, you did the right thing tonight, and you decided not to be a cheater, not to hit me with this belt, and try to beat me fair and square in the middle of this ring. And because of that, in front of everybody here, I want to shake your hand, and I want everybody here to get on their feet for Jeremy Prophet. Before I speak to the people in the seats, I do want to say something to this man standing in the corner of this ring while I hold this microphone. I want you to know, this belt means more to me than you guys have any idea. I want you to know this. I travel all across this country, speaking to young kids, and one of the things that I tell these young kids that worry about how many people are following them on YouTube or Instagram or social media, I tell these kids, don't worry about the quantity of people that are watching you do what you do. Worry about the quality of what you do. I have literally wrestled in front of arenas full of people, live on pay-per-view. There was a big quality of people watching me do what I do. But I mean this from the bottom of my heart, standing right here in the middle of this ring with this belt, because of this man and the quality of shows that he has decided to put on for each and every one of you, I can think of no better way to stand in this ring and just say thank you to all of you. And there's a reason these shows have such high quality. It's not because Jeremy Prophet is an awesome villain, though he is. It's not because I get to call myself the king of the slaw, even though I am. The reason these shows are my favorite shows to wrestle on, and I look forward to them so much over the last 2 decades, is because of each and every one of you. So get on your feet, give yourself a round of applause. Because PWE has always been about you fans, and it always will be about you fans. Thank you so much for coming out for one last match. Thank you so much.
Did everybody have a good time? Like what me and my friend Brian caught at work, did you get value for your money? Yeah. That is ever so important to me. Now there's a tradition in wrestling. Maybe you'll recognize this, maybe you won't. Brian?
Hey, this is PWE superstar Cody Diener, the king of the schwa. You're listening to Wrestling with Mental Health. I want you to know it's important to take care of your mental health, but it's also important to support professional wrestling, independent professional wrestling, like Pro Wrestling Eclipse, like my buddy here has. So hey, keep listening, keep taking care of yourself, and keep loving professional wrestling.